thank you so much for your great reaction to my last video that was how to use a CPAP in the RV. Wow, it got more attention than I ever thought because so many of us RVers, are in this category that we need to use a CPAP because of OSA, obstructive sleep apnea. And remember, the problem is 80%, it's pretty serious, very serious, and 80% of the people walking around that have OSA, obstructive sleep apnea, are undiagnosed. Super important. Today, I'm live here, and I've got a bunch of questions and comments from you guys. I'm going to be addressing as many as I possibly can. I really want to help you. See, I am the RV dummy, but I have taken it upon myself within the past 2 months to immerse myself in the world of how to use a CPAP, why it's so important if you have obstructive sleep apnea, what would happen if you don't use it. It can be very serious and very, very bad. And it's a little bit of a cool day here in Salt Lake City, sitting in the back of my RV just with a hot cup of tea. And I'm going to be, I think it's going to be a great show today. I'm going to help you guys out. Before we get started, if you get a chance, I oftentimes forget about this, but it really does help the channel if you can give me a like, a thumbs up, like. And some wise guy in a previous video said to me, at a comment, he said, well, how can I ever give you a thumbs up at the beginning if I don't know if it's going to be good? Well, trust me, it's going to be good, number one, so give me a thumbs up. And if at the end of the video, if you think it was horrible and doesn't deserve the thumbs up, then you can click on it again and take it away. Okay, I'll give you permission to do that, but I think you're going to love this. We're going right through. We're not doing any editing today. If I flub something up, if I mess it up, it's all good because, again, I appreciate you guys, my viewers, my subscribers, and I'm going to say my friends because I feel a real connection with all of you. So this is about using a CPAP in the RV or anywhere, but let's get right into it. And I'm going to mention names because you gave your names publicly, so it's all good. Names or screen names or whatever you might be. This is from Hot Mess Missy, and the channel is Art and RVing. Missy says, wow, I just woke up from a mid-afternoon nap due to lack of sleep all night just before I watched this, meaning watched my last video. I have been concerned that I may have this issue, obstructive sleep apnea, as I constantly and consistently gasp awake every moment as I doze off. Like, yeah, that's a definite sign. Gasping for air, snoring, although snoring does not necessarily mean you have obstructive sleep apnea, but it's a pretty good sign that you may. Being tired, all kind of things. Like there are a million telltale signs. Blood pressure creeping up, even that can be a sign for sure. She says, I have a doctor's appointment in a few days and I hope to get some answers. I'm so glad you are doing well in your treatment and appreciate this video immensely. My concern is if I need a CPAP, will it interfere with my quirky nighttime routine, which may actually stem from my weird insomnia? By the way, as a side note, insomnia is not obstructive sleep apnea, but they sometimes they do go together, and they could be unrelated. But insomnia is another very serious sleep disorder that if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not getting enough hours on that pillow, sound asleep, you're gonna have health problems. There's no question about it. Sleep, and good quality sleep, and not only quality, but the quantity is very important. Extremely important. When we were younger, we could get away with pulling all-nighters and partying all night and maybe, going sometimes days seem like without sleep. But we can't do that long term. It will kill you. It really will kill you. She continues that I have no place in my already jam-packed RV, a bedside area, and having to clean the dang thing on a daily basis. Ooh, she says. Are you able to wear your glasses in bed with it on? Does it leave nasty dents in your face? I'm asking too many questions. No, you're not. You're asking great questions, actually, Missy. LOL, this may not even be my issue, but I suspect it is. From what you told me so far, Missy, I suspect if you're gasping for air as you fall asleep or find yourself waking up. I suspect it is your issue. I would love some relief, but I've always dreaded this. Meaning CPAP. Well, you're in luck because I'm your guinea pig. I did all the experimentation. I wore the masks that were super, super uncomfortable. I looked like I was a jet fighter pilot, and it covered my whole face practically. I felt like it was horrible. I tested many different types of masks. So again, I think I showed you this last time, but I want to show you this again. I want to show you, this is my mask. I did not attach the tubing just for ease of making this video, but it's the full mask and headgear. I'm going to show you when I get ready to go to sleep at night how simple and how comfortable this is. And Missy, yes, I'll answer your questions about how comfortable does it cause any kind of crazy things on my face or anything like that. So here we go. Here, time me. Start your stopwatch. You ready? 1, 2, 3. It's on. That's all there is to it. It's on. Now, normally, again, the tube would come out of here, but for video purposes, I'm not using the tube. And yes, Missy, can I use my glasses? Absolutely. But I'll tell you something. I usually don't, because I think as a beginner, it probably is a good idea to put your mask on and just wear it while you're awake and just kind of get used to it. But once you get more into this world and are really used to sleeping with it, there's really no reason that I see to put your mask on and put your glasses on and read a book. There's no reason at all. My routine is, and by the way, I've learned so much about this stuff too, about even insomnia. My routine is, I don't get into my bed until I'm ready to go to sleep. If I want to do anything else, and I can do another video on this. I think you'd really appreciate this because, again, it's so important. But I've got a whole routine hours before I go to bed, how to wind yourself down to a point where once you get into your bed, and only use your bed for sleep and sex. Only use your bed for those two things. Don't use your bed for anything else, please. Because I get to the point where when I am ready to wind down and I put my head on the pillow, I get into bed, put this on, I'm generally asleep, I think, within 5 minutes or less. But if I'm doing all kind of other things in my bed, no, it messes it up. So again, it's super, super important. So you can use your glasses with it, but these days I find no reason to wear my glasses with my mask on. But this is called a... So again, the whole headset part is called Dreamwear, but this actual piece right here is called a nasal pillow. It's made by Philips. So if you just Google that, you will find this, or talk to your supplier. But this is by far the most comfortable setup I've found, because it just goes. This is really soft silicone, and it just goes right up against your nostril and forms a seal. You can't tell. It's not tight. In fact, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I think to myself, oh, I forgot to put it on. I can't believe I forgot to put my mask on, but it's on because it's so comfortable and you get used to it. You don't even know it's there. So again, you can't be a mouth breather and use this, because if you are, it's not going to work. And if you open your mouth in the middle of the night when this is on, you're going to get like all kind of weird air pressure coming out. So you've got to be able to sleep with your mouth with your mouth closed. They do sell certain kind of special tape to be able to tape your mouth if you can't do it. But it's a learning process. But I've got no problem, zero problem. I keep my mouth closed and just breathe through my nose. Gentle stream of air flowing all night long. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much for your question, and I hope I answered everything, Hot Mess Missy. And by the way, it looks like you got quite an RV channel there. You got 926 subscribers, so feel free to tell your subscribers about this if it's appropriate at all. From Tom Pullen. I love tea. I love hot tea, especially on a cold morning like this. Tom Pullen says, I can vouch for how comfortable the Dreamwear mask is. I love it. I wore a regular nose mask for a long time, and I couldn't believe how nice this was when I got it after my second sleep study. Now, everybody is different. Everybody has different types of facial structures and breathing patterns. But I just feel that this is, they like shouldn't even have any other masks available after I've tried all of them, and this one was by far the best. But again, the caveat is you have to be able to breathe through your nose. If you can't breathe through your nose, then you do have to go with an alternative or alternate type of mask. Herbert Webb says, Dr. Dave, I've been using CPAP for over 15 years. The one thing to remember is that there is a very strong tie between sleep apnea and AFib. Oh yeah, there is. And there's also a strong tie between sleep apnea and all kinds of health issues. All kinds, and some very serious health issues. He says, I'm addicted to using my CPAP and wouldn't be without it. That's the way I feel. It's like, once you know what this is doing for you, and once you get used to it and tweak it, it's just, you don't want to sleep without it. I even take a nap. If I take a nap during the day, in the middle of the day for let's say a 30-minute power nap, I will put my CPAP on just because it feels so good. I know it's helping me. He says, you are right that it takes some time to get used to. The important thing is to find the correct headgear. That's what we've been saying. That's true. That works best for you. I use a hybrid mask, which looks something like an airplane pilot would use. Also, I found that it may take 6 months to really get used to it. That's true. It's taken me, I've been on for 2+ months. Let's see, July, August, September, close to 3 months now, closer to 3 months. And it does take time. And that's the problem. A lot of people try it, they give up, and then it fails. And then, unfortunately, their health fails, and that's a serious problem. Remember, you will feel much better in the morning when you wake up. Herbert, thank you so much for that, and that is so true for sure. Harry Daniels says, thanks. He says, that's great. Fantastic info, Dr. Dave. Luckily, I don't need one as yet, but thank you for the warning signs you gave in part 1 and the demo here in part 2. Thanks so much for the information and video. Look forward to your next video. Well, thank you, Harry, because this is my next video. This is it. So I'm glad you look forward to this, and so did I. I really, really appreciate you, your comments, and your love, of course. I appreciate everybody's. This is, let's see, we got RV Butterfly here. RV Butterfly, by the way, I'll just give you a brief little synopsis. She and I have had some back and forth because she was diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea, but she's had all kinds of issues with between her insurance, her physician, her medical supply company. It's been a disaster. I really want to help her. So here's what she says. Honestly, Dr. Dave, this is just a nightmare. So they delivered oxygen and the CPAP machine. Now, by the way, I just want to make it clear. Most people that use CPAP do not have to be on supplemental oxygen again, but some people do. So there's a hookup where you can actually hook up oxygen. I don't have to be on oxygen. I'm just using the CPAP to unobstruct my airway, to give positive pressure. Remember, CPAP stands for continual or continuous positive air pressure. It just delivers a positive air pressure to your breathing apparatus all night long to keep it open as opposed to closed. Now, let me just talk to you for a second about pressure. Some people think that this is going to be like all this wind coming into your mouth or nose all night long, and it's not really like that. The pressure is so low. Everybody's different. Everybody requires different pressure, but even at the highest pressure, it would not even be enough to blow up a balloon. Think of it as very light pressure delivered from a tube and a mask. But if you hooked it up to a balloon, it wouldn't even come close to blowing it up. So it's not some high pressure thing that's going to inflate you like that. No, it's not. It's nothing like that at all. She said the delivery guy knew nothing about the CPAP. He plugged the oxygen into the CPAP and went over to the O2 machine. That's it. So I tried to do it last night. I'm under the impression it should have been preset. Yes, it should have been. Your doctor gives a prescription to the medical supply company, and they preset the pressures or pressure. Yeah, absolutely should be preset. But I couldn't use it because I put the mask on, and the pressure was so high that it took my breath away. I called the company, and well, unfortunately, the respiratory lady is out until Thursday. Anyway, I could scream. I understand that, RV Butterfly, because it sounds like you are in a mess with incompetency, I hate to say. And my doctor for the CPAP is closed on Friday. Go figure. Thanks for your help. Well, RV Butterfly, Yeah, you're like caught in the middle of a very typical CPAP mess. I'm going to help you right now, and I'm going to give you some answers. And by the way, I want to go back. I should have said this at the very beginning of this video. Although I am a doctor, I'm a dentist. I'm a retired dentist. I do not practice dentistry anymore, but I'm trained in the medical and dental profession. But I want to make sure it's very clear. I am not giving medical advice on this video or any videos where I talk about this type of stuff. I'm not giving official medical advice. I'm telling you what I do, but I'm advising you to seek the care or seek the advice and seek the prescription of your doctor. That is my legal disclaimer, although I don't have a lawyer here anywhere. There's no lawyer around. But having said that, as I answer RV Butterfly's question here, you're going to see that this is what I did. I'm not telling you you can do this. I'm not legally telling you can do this, but this is what I did, and it's probably a good idea. But my actual official legal advice is you've got to listen to your doctor for everything. Okay. Having said that, RV Butterfly, I was in the exact same mess. Not as bad as you, but in this world of COVID now, what happened was now remember, 3 months ago, I knew nothing about CPAPs. Nothing. I was just like you. I was a guy who was diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea and told to go pick up his machine, and they would tell me everything. So picking up my machine in this COVID era meant I pulled up into the parking lot, called them on the phone. I had some guy come out. I wish I had it with me with just a case that had my CPAP in it. I opened up my car window. He threw it into my car. He said, he gave me a couple sheets of paper. Here's some instructions. There's some good videos on YouTube. Go use it. I swear to God. He might have said a little bit more than that, but basically I got no instruction. Remember, I knew nothing. I knew how to hook up. I didn't know how to hook up anything. I've never used one. I didn't know how to put a mask on. I knew nothing. So he threw me to the wolves. I drove away and realized that I had to learn all of this stuff on my own because my doctor and my supplier, obviously, they don't know enough. It took me a while to realize this. So what I started doing was, it wasn't working for me at first either, RV Butterfly, or anybody that's in the same situation. And the way I knew it wasn't working for him because there's an app you use on the iPhone and it can read from the machine, and it pretty much told me that I was doing shitty. That's in so many words. It said, "You are doing shitty." So how did I immerse myself in this world to learn so much in 3 months? I would say I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I know more about this stuff, tweaking pressures, how to read the data than a lot of the doctors out there, and definitely than a lot of the suppliers. I guarantee it. Here's what I did. I started reading books. I started, and by the way, there's a great book. I think it's called Sleep. I want to say it's called Sleep Interrupted by Dr. Stephen Park. I highly recommend not only reading his book. If you just go on Amazon, I should give you a link for it. I will give you a link in the show notes, in the comments. But if you read his book, and if you listen to his podcast, again, his name is Dr. Stephen Park, Stephen with a V. I'm pretty sure it's with a V, I think. Now I'm thinking I might be wrong, but I think it's with a V. MD, out of New York. This guy is an ENT surgeon who also specializes in obstructive sleep apnea and sleep disorders. He's one of the smartest guys I've ever heard. I've learned so much from his podcast and from his book. But not only that, I've watched videos. I've listened to other podcasts. I'm going to be on a podcast pretty soon telling my whole story. I think we're recording it tomorrow. I'll share that information with you when I can because I think it's going to be great. But probably the most valuable resource I've found is a forum. And RV Butterfly, I want you, and anybody else in this situation, I want you to promise me that you go on this forum. It's called CPAPtalk.com. Just CPAP talk.com. It's a forum. You register. It's free. It's all free. And you can read questions that other people have asked that are in your same situation. And there are a group of experts running this forum, not only running it, but other people that are participating in this forum, that give you such good, precise, helpful answers. It's unbelievable. Now, there's also something I want you to do. There's a software program. Again, it's free. I learned about it from this forum. It's called Oscar, OSCAR. Google it, or actually when you go on CPAPtalk.com, they will show you how to download it for free and how to use it. But it's a program where you take your CPAP machine has a little SD card in it. You take your SD card out, you put it into your computer, you load it in, and you download the data and into this program, and it shows you everything you need to know. And don't worry, it's got graphs, it's got charts, it's got statistics. Don't worry, there's nothing that's rocket science. It's pretty easy to understand. And again, the folks, and I'm on the forum too now. By the way, my screen name, if you see, my screen name is Box of Rain on this. So if you see somebody named Box of Rain making a comment or making a post, that's me, Box of Rain. I want to stay incognito. RV dummy. I just wanted to stay incognito. So it's a Grateful Dead music reference, Box of Rain. So what I did at the beginning when I was having horrible results and I couldn't get any good advice from, the DME, the Durable Medical Equipment Supplier, their answer is always just raise the pressure. You need more pressure. Well, guess what? First of all, you need a doctor's prescription to do that. Oh, and by the way, RV Butterfly, you've got to learn how to get into the settings on your machine. They don't tell you this because it's top secret, because you're not supposed to do it, because only the doctor and the DME are the only ones that are allowed to change the settings under the doctor's prescription. You're not allowed to, you're not supposed to do this, but there is a kind of a hack. There's a way to press a couple little button combinations and you get into the settings. And I tweak my own pressure because I put the graphs up and show these people on CPAPtalk.com what's going on every night, and they say, oh, if you just do this, it's going to be much better. It's going to be more comfortable. You're going to have a lower AHI, apnea hypopnea index. I'm getting pretty technical here, but it's not technical stuff. It's not that difficult. But these people have been a wealth of information. And RV Butterfly, I'm talking to you because you wrote this question and I understand your frustration. If you do this, if you do what I'm saying, especially go on CPAPtalk.com, I'd say in 24 to 48 hours, they'll have you in great shape. You'll understand how to tweak your pressures, how to change, how to get into the system. They'll show you what to do. It is unbelievable. It is just incredible. There's so much to learn, and I want to share this with you also. It's dynamic. It's always changing. You can't just set your machine and forget it and sleep with it every night, but then not know what it's doing. You have to check the graphs. You have to check to see if it's really helping you. It's more than just waking up feeling a little more refreshed in the morning or a lot more refreshed. You need to understand exactly what's going on, and if something is going awry, you need to be able to tweak it. It's so important and so valuable. So I'm glad you asked that question. I really hope this helps, RV Butterfly. Let's get on to the next question now. It's from Jean Foster. Dr. Dave, I religiously use my CPAP every night. Been using it since 2014. I'm now on my second machine. Medicare will only pay for one every 5 years. I'm a part-time RVer, so I keep the old one in the RV. Let me share something with you. That's true. Medicare only pays for one every 5 years. However, being the cautious person that I am, I believe in always having backups for everything. So I went on the local classified section. It's called KSL.com here in Salt Lake City. It's like Craigslist kind of with their classifieds. And I bought a used second machine and you can sanitize them. They're as good as new. Of course, I checked it out. I knew exactly how to check it out. But I bought a machine. It's actually better quality than the one I got from my DME, and I use it as a backup. I probably will use it as a primary machine pretty soon, as soon as I get all my requirements out of the way as far as my usage time with my original machine. But again, I think I paid like $400 used, and lightly used. So again, I'm not going to wait 5 years to have Medicare pay for another machine for me. If I want to back up or if I want a different type, I'm going to go find it somewhere. That's what I'm going to do. And I urge you to, unofficially urge you to do that as well. You can find anything out there that you want. And again, when you're on CPAPtalk.com, they will help you get into the system and tweak pressures for your machine. It's just, if I can help you on there, I'll be happy to help you as well. But there's some true experts that know so much. I wouldn't be able to be of much help compared to them at all. This is, and my printer kind of screwed up. This looks like it's from Roxanne Wolf. She says, I hope I got your name right, Roxanne. I'm pretty sure I did, because my color, I think I need a new color ink cartridge. And if anything comes out in color, it's like really light and faded and you can't see it. That's neither here nor there. She says, I've been on CPAP for a long time and I need to figure out how to power it in my SUV. I've got three questions and comments that kind of go together. So I'm going to read all of them, then I'm going to help you all out on this. So keep that one in mind. Mel Peck says, thanks. Give us info about your battery pack or battery backup for the CPAP. And then Richard Meek says, good video. I've slept with a CPAP since 1991 and I'm 59 years old now. So figure out how old he was when he first started. This is not just for old people. It's not. The old myth that, it's only for white men over 65. No. Fat white men. No. I might be an old white man. I'm certainly not fat. And even when I was younger, when I was in my 30s, I guarantee I had this, but nobody picked up on it. So again, it's super, super important. So he says, I can't sleep without my CPAP. Neither can I. We are getting ready to go full time in our RV, and I'm wondering how electricity to run CPAP for me and my wife. They both have CPAP. So, okay, let's address those three questions and comments all at once, because they're all related about using them in an SUV or in an RV. Now, in my RV here, I don't know if you can see this, but of course, in an RV, we've got electrical outlets. We've got plugs. So as long as we're camping and either if we have enough solar power or plugged in, we usually plug into to the shore power at an RV campground. As long as you do that and you have power, you just use it the same way as you would in your house. Again, it takes up a little bit of room, and you can always get a travel CPAP. I'm going to eventually get a travel CPAP, but I just don't think I need one because they're still not that big, and I can easily fit it in the RV, and there should be no problem having you and your wife both be able to fit a CPAP in your RV, and just plug it in. That's the easiest and best way. Plug it in. Now, having said that, if you're without electricity, if you're in an SUV, I imagine, I don't know the answer to this, but I imagine there's got to be some kind of car cigarette lighter adapter that you plug into your SUV and it'll power. I'm guessing there is. There's got to be. But here's my solution. Here's what I did. I don't think I showed this to you last time, but this is, I think, the absolute best solution for power if you're not sure if you're going to have electricity, if you don't want to be running wires and cables and all kinds of stuff like that. I bought myself a backup battery. It's actually by Philips Respironics. So it goes with my machine. This will not fit a ResMed machine. If you have a ResMed, you've got to get theirs or a different type. This is probably the best investment I ever made in my life because, again, wherever I am, even if I'm at home and the electricity goes out, I know I have backup. It's not cheap, and I'll share the price with you shortly. But let me pull the battery out of here to show you how easy it is. It's like a large, the things you use to recharge your cell phones if you're on the road or something. It's like a large one of those. Basically, that's all it is. If I press this button right here, you can see it's fully charged, and as it starts to go down, the lights go down like that. What you do is basically it comes with a cable. It's so darn easy. I mean, it couldn't be easier. You plug the cable into the battery, just like that, and then the other end of it plugs right into your CPAP, and you've got power. Now, again, it's a solution if you don't want to mess with plugging in your RV. Now, you will have to recharge this. You'll have to plug it in somewhere about every 2 nights. You will have to recharge it somewhere. But again, the recharging does not take that long, and then you're good for another 2 nights. It cost me I got it online, or it's not cheap. It's somewhere around $400. It's substantial. But and if you need 2 of them, yeah, it's $800 for you and your wife. It's $800. It's a lot of money. No, insurance won't pay for it. But again, sometimes you need to invest in things that are, we have RVs. Look, if something goes wrong with the refrigerator, we'll get a replacement part. If something goes wrong with anything in here, you got to pay. So I have no problem paying for something like this that potentially could be a lifesaver. I know that wherever I am, if I don't have electricity or something's just wrong with the electricity, I can plug this in and be good for 2 nights straight, and then just charge it again and be good for another 2 nights straight. So again, I highly, highly recommend this. Where did I get it? I went online. I think I just Googled Philips Dream Station backup battery power supply or something like that. It was very easy. And I got to a site. God, I wish I could remember. I'll see if I can remember and put it in the show notes. But it was a website, a very reputable company. And it says, they give a price. It was like, let's say, I'm just making this up. I can't remember exactly. Let's say it's $440 online. It said, but call our 800 number and we may have a discount for you. So I usually like to just order things online, but I called the number. I said, hi, I want to order this, but it says you may be able to discount it. I think they took like $30 off of it. So I got it for like right around $400 or maybe even a tiny bit less, something like that. But it always does pay to try. If it says call me for a discount, I'm going to call and see what happens. And it did work that time. One more thing I want to share with you before I go. Now, this is not, I'm becoming like a sleep expert. I tell you, I've immersed myself in this whole thing. But not only a sleep expert, but I've learned how crucial breathing is. Breathing. We do it every day and we don't think about it, especially when we're sleeping. We can't think about it. But during the day, you can consciously think about breathing. And what I've learned is, and I think my friend Adam, who I hope is watching this, who is really into meditation and things like that, breathing. I hope he likes this also, because Adam, I've learned, I hope you're watching, breathing through your nose is a game changer in your life. The more you can take breaths through your nose, the more relaxed you'll be. I believe it. When you breathe through your nose, it's different than breathing through your mouth, because I'm going to make sure I get this right, but I think it will create something called nitric oxide, which is a gas that will it has relaxing properties. I'll say it in the simplest way I possibly can. I think it activates the parasympathetic nervous system or something like that. But let's just say it's very, very calming and relaxing. And so breathing through your nose consciously during the course of the day will get you to be more relaxed, possibly lower blood pressure, better oxygenation of your tissues, and in general, healthier. That's why I believe in meditation so much, and I've been meditating for so long. This video is getting really long, but I'm just ranting because this stuff is so important. It's so important. If you're still with me, I really appreciate this. If you hung up or disconnected, too bad. You're about to miss my final tip of the day. Again, breathing is so important. I've learned that, and I used to do this a long time ago, but then kind of got out of the habit. I'm getting into these nasal strips, these little breathing strips. This is the Kroger brand, by the way, which I really like. The official brand, if you go into the pharmacy, they're called, I think, Breathe Right strips. You've probably seen a lot of athletes using them. They kind of open up your nasal passage without surgery, without doing anything crazy. It's an adhesive strip, and I'm going to show you right now how to use it. But again, it's not a cure for sleep apnea. It won't even treat sleep apnea. Don't even think of it as that. But think of it as something you can use day and night as needed to open up the breathing passages and breathe through your nose so much better. Again, it's a game changer when you do that. So we're just going to open one up here. This is a clear one. So no matter what color skin you have, no matter what race you are, we can all use these, and you can't see them because they'll be clear. But let me peel this back here. You also have to make sure your face is washed and there's no oils on your nose or anything like that. So I did wash my face and cleaned everything before I started this video, as you could probably tell. Let's see. So peel off the backing here. I'm going to take my glasses off just to see if I can. The problem is I can't see very well to put it on, but so I'm going to just guess. I'm going to just do it by feel. Not bad. Press it in. And I got to tell you something. It might not be the prettiest thing in the world, but when I use these, I feel like I've opened up I feel like I've doubled my capacity to breathe in. Like I feel like I'm getting all this air in my nose, nostrils, and of course with that comes oxygen. It's like a world of difference. I use these during the day sometimes just because it feels so much better, and I can breathe if I'm going for a hike, a bike ride, when I ski. It just allows me to breathe better. So I really love them, and I use them at night sometimes also, just because again, I breathe through my mouth, through my nose 100% at night because of my mask, and I want to be able to breathe better. And so these are great. They're called nasal strips. If you live in an area that has Kroger or Smith's or City Market, they're all kind of this Kroger chain. I love their brand. I love the way they feel. But again, right up inside in my home, I've got Breathe Right strips as well. So you can find those as well. But I think the Kroger ones just lay on my nose better and stay better. That's what I think. Okay, guys, I appreciate your time. I think I went way over, but I should never apologize, because if I'm giving you information like this, I don't mind doing a fairly long video every once in a while. I think I've said everything I need to say today. I really miss you all in my live video chats, and I want to see if I can schedule another live one pretty soon. I hope most of you are on my VIP list, because I send my VIPs. I haven't done one for a while, but I send my VIPs a text message when I'm ready to go live, and maybe I'll try it this weekend. I hope I can. I really hope I can. It's just been, with everything I'm going through, it's just been crazy these days. But that's all I have to say today. Again, I appreciate you. I hope I can help you in any way. This is part 3 in a series on obstructive sleep apnea in the RV for all of us RVers. Part 3. There probably will be a little bit more in this series as well, because I still have a lot more to say, and I really want to help a lot of you. Till next time, I am your friendly servant. I do this for you. Dr. Dave, also known as the RV Dummy, and I can breathe, and I will see you next time. Bye.